4th-round pick. And when you look at the Eagles, when we talk about that offensive line, where does it manifest itself? They are 27th in the NFL on third down conversion, and they are 22nd in explosive play rate. David Njoku, the one thing he can do, he can make plays. 371 catches in his career, 31 touchdowns. He would help fix this Eagle offense.
You like it?
No, I don't like it because Dallas Goedert had a good game last night, and he's still on the Philadelphia Eagles. So why am I trading for another tight end, and I'm having issues in my secondary?
Well, I would just tell you, like, they need another weapon right now, and maybe going 12 personnel with two tight ends.
No, Mike T. They don't need another weapon.
Get the ball away.
They need to figure out the identity of the offense. They don't need another weapon. They have weapons galore.
So are you telling me, if I'm reading what you're saying, you're telling me the identity of the offense should be to have multiple tight ends on the field and play a little more power and try and find those mismatches?
Absolutely, Green. And that versatility, if you have David Njoku and Dallas Goedert with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Saquon, that's about as
But they
good.
already seem to have like an embarrassment of riches at the skill position player. My question is, when you see A.J. Brown in the locker room last night, and clearly they have a meeting amongst the three leaders on that team, and now the way he's acting, the stuff that's going on there, as a general manager, do you feel like you've got a mess on your hands, whether you go out and trade for somebody else or not?
I bring him in and just say, hey, our interests are aligned, A.J. You could help us win games, but we have to do it within the flow of the offense. It may be 5 touches in the first quarter. It may be 5 in the fourth quarter. We won a championship last year. You're a meaningful part of it, and you have to close the door and air out your grievances and solve problems. You have a mini bye. Now's the time to do it, Greeny.
Okay, so as is usually the case, the GM makes a deal and the players are disgruntled. So we don't like the first one. Give me the next one. What is the next trade you are proposing today, Trader Mike?
Breece Hall for a 4th-round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. Greeny, you may not know this. The Jets are off to a slow start. He's in the last year of his contract. I don't know if he's going to be extended. If we're rebuilding, Greeny, don't we want another draft choice? And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, this guy is an explosive playmaker. This is desperately what the Chiefs need. So why not, if you're the Jets, Greeny, why would you not want to do this?
I think I don't want to do anything if I'm the Jets at this point. I want to stop paying attention to what they're doing. No, it does seem obvious they're going to trade Breece Hall. Right? There's no reason to keep him. At this point, this is a team that needs to start breaking it down. Yeah. The tragedy of the Jets, if I may have 1 second on this and then we'll move off of it, is that they're not nearly bad enough to be this bad. The Jets have much more talent than they have played. It's what I posted last week that people generally misinterpreted when I said they're nowhere near the worst team in the NFL. They just play like it. The problem is they're playing so badly that they will now start tearing it down before they build it up. And frankly, Breece Hall and the Chiefs would be spectacular.
Yeah, but I also don't like this trade. They drafted a guy by the name of Brashard Smith, who has a unique skill set. He can run the football, he can catch the football out of the backfield, and you see every week Andy Reid is incorporating him in the offense more and more.
We're going to have him. He's a specific kind of player for them, though, right? I mean, this would be to replace Pacheco, who's not getting it done right now. Like, that would be kind of the.
We're going to have a players-only meeting between Tannenbaum and Harry at some point here. Okay, you're 0 for 2 as far as Harry is concerned. Give me one more big trade.
All right, this one's a no-brainer. Maxx Crosby for a 2nd and a 4th-round pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, guys, by the way, haven't had a Mecca Buka, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin together. Championship offense. We know how great Maxx Crosby is. He's only 28 years old. And again, we know the Raiders are not going anywhere this year, guys. So they can rebuild 2 good picks. And if you're the Bucs, let's go for it right now.
What do you think about this one, Jay?
Finally, I got you, Mike T. I love this one. If you're trading for defensive players that can change the entire game, we're seeing highlights from this Bears game. Maxx Crosby was all over the field. Get him out of Las Vegas and get him on a team that can win some games. I like it, Mike T.
I guess my only question on this is there was a time when Myles Garrett was getting traded last offseason, and we were talking about multiple firsts and all that kind of stuff. Maxx Crosby would only get you a 2nd and a 4th?
Well, the durability is a little bit of an issue. So if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to get. Well, yeah. But if I'm the Buccaneers, I would pay the premium. And if I'm the Raiders, it's better than nothing.
I like this.
Trader Mike, make a deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation, welcome back to Cowboys Nation Report, the home of the faithful, the furious, and the fearless. Tonight, we step right into the eye of the storm surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. A storm built on speculation, desire, and a single name echoing across every sports network in America, Maxx Crosby. The whispers started as background noise. Then they turned into conversation. Now they're headline material. The idea that Maxx Crosby, one of the most relentless defensive players in the NFL, could end up in Dallas has Cowboys fans dreaming again. And maybe, just maybe, that dream isn't so far-fetched. Let's get something straight. This is not the same Cowboys team we knew a few years ago. The Dallas Cowboys of 2025 are under new leadership, with Brian Schottenheimer steering the ship. Schottenheimer, a football mind with old-school grit and modern adaptability, has brought a different tone to this organization. His message since day one has been clear. This team is going to be physical, fearless, and focused. He's rebuilding the Cowboys from the inside out, demanding accountability, toughness, and unity. But there's no denying what the Cowboys lost earlier this year when Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers. For years, Parsons was the face of Dallas's defense, a wrecking ball in shoulder pads, the kind of player who made quarterbacks see ghosts. When that trade went down, it wasn't just the loss of a superstar. It was a seismic shift in identity. 2 first-round picks and veteran defensive tackle Kenny Clark came in return, setting the stage for a reimagined defense. But it left a question hanging over the franchise. Who becomes the next great disruptor in Dallas? Enter Maxx Crosby. If there's one player in the NFL who embodies intensity, it's Crosby. The man plays every down like it's his last. High motor, high passion, high production. Raiders fans know it, opponents fear it, and analysts around the league can't stop talking about it. The rumors began when reports surfaced that the Raiders, facing another rebuild, might consider moving Crosby for the right package. A 2nd and 4th round pick was mentioned as an asking price on ESPN's Get Up, but everyone knew, if a team like Dallas calls, the conversation gets serious. Cowboys Nation, imagine what this means. Picture Crosby lining up alongside Kenny Clark, Osa Digizua, and James Houston. Picture that defensive front collapsing pockets, forcing turnovers, setting the tone physically. Imagine Dak Prescott standing on the sideline, watching his defense get stops, watching momentum swing because of relentless pressure. That's not just improvement, that's transformation. Let's not forget, this is a Dallas team that's been defined by offense for too long. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard once carried the headlines, while the defense fought for identity. But this new chapter, post-Parsons, under Schottenheimer, is about balance. It's about building a team that can hit you in the mouth on both sides of the ball. And Maxx Crosby, with his leadership, durability, and production, fits that vision perfectly. Crosby isn't just a highlight reel of sacks. He's a workhorse. He played over 1,000 snaps last season. He's the kind of player who never takes a play off, who elevates everyone around him. And let's be real, that kind of consistency is exactly what Dallas needs right now. No drama, no distractions, no diva energy. Just a soldier who goes to war every Sunday. Now, some people are already asking, why would the Raiders ever trade a player like that? The answer is complicated. Las Vegas is in transition. They're rebuilding, reassessing contracts, and facing cap pressure. Crosby is 28 years old, in his prime, but the Raiders know by the time they're ready to contend again, he might be nearing his 30s. Trading him while his value is high could accelerate their rebuild. It's a cold calculation, but in the NFL, it's always about timing and leverage. Meanwhile, Dallas is sitting on flexibility. The Parsons trade created both draft capital and cap maneuverability. The Cowboys are not in desperation mode. They're in position mode. If they want Crosby, they can make the numbers work. They can offer picks, they can structure bonuses. They can make it happen. The question isn't if Dallas can, it's if they will. There's also something poetic about this. Parsons and Crosby represent 2 different kinds of greatness. Parsons was explosive and unpredictable, lightning in a bottle. Crosby is methodical destruction, a steady storm that never stops moving. One burned bright, the other grinds opponents into dust. If Dallas brings in Crosby, they aren't trying to replicate what they lost. They're evolving into something stronger, more stable, more sustainable. And let's talk about the locker room. Brian Schottenheimer's leadership has already shifted the tone in Dallas. Players are buying in. Veterans like Dak Prescott have become more vocal. CeeDee Lamb, even while recovering from his mid-season injury, has been in the building mentoring young receivers and pushing morale. This is a team unified in message. No finger pointing, no chaos, just hunger. Adding a leader like Crosby, known league-wide for his work ethic and emotional fire, would be gasoline on that culture. If this trade happens, it's not just another roster move. It's a declaration of intent. It's Dallas saying to the league, we're not waiting, we're coming for it. The NFC landscape is shifting. Philadelphia is aging. San Francisco's dominance is being tested. Green Bay just loaded up with Parsons, sure, but imagine Dallas meeting them in January with Crosby staring across the line, ready for that showdown. Tell me that wouldn't be theater. Tell me that wouldn't be poetic justice. Of course, the business side will always complicate the dream. Raiders executives will want premium picks, Crosby's contract isn't cheap, and reworking deals for Prescott, Lamb, and Clark still looms. But this is where great franchises separate themselves. The best organizations find ways to add great players, not excuses to avoid them. They find a way to make bold moves when opportunity knocks. Let's also acknowledge how this fits Schottenheimer's personality. He's not a coach who shies away from aggression. His philosophy is about pressure, tempo, and physicality. If you're going to be physical on offense, you better be violent on defense. Crosby's motor matches that blueprint perfectly. He's the type of player Schottenheimer would build around, a foundational piece for the next 5 years. So here's where I stand. Dallas should absolutely pursue Maxx Crosby. Not recklessly, not impulsively, but intentionally. This move would stabilize the defense, energize the fan base, and send a message through the entire NFL that the Cowboys are serious about finishing what they've started. This would be a statement move, one that says the days of being labeled soft or inconsistent are over. Cowboys Nation, we've been here before. The rumors, the speculation, the what-ifs, but this one feels different. This one feels possible. The front office is finally playing the long game. The leadership is firm. The locker room is united. The pieces are aligning. And for the first time in a long time, this team feels like it's ready to take a swing that could define the next decade. So here's my message to every fan watching. Dream big, but stay grounded. Keep hope, but demand action. Because if Maxx Crosby walks through those doors in Frisco, it won't just be another signing. It'll be a declaration that the star still shines brightest when the lights are hottest. This is a franchise built on moments like this. Moments of courage, moments of conviction, moments where legacy gets written in silver and blue. Cowboys Nation, rise up. Tell me what you think. Should Dallas go all in for Crosby? Would you trade the draft picks to make it happen? Would this make the Cowboys a Super Bowl contender overnight? Drop your thoughts below in the comments. Let's hear your takes. And if you believe in this team, if you still believe in the star, hit that like button. Subscribe to Cowboys Nation Report and join the ride. Because this isn't just another rumor. This is the kind of story that could reshape the Dallas Cowboys forever. One star, one dream, one fight. Cowboys forever.